The North Country has 7 politicians representing us in Albany, 5 assembly members and 2 state senators. 6 of them are Republicans. For years, Billy Jones was the only Democrat. Now, Michael Cashman, also a Democrat, has been elected to take his place. And Cashman thinks being the only Democrat representing the North Country is important. It matters. We have a window into the thinking of an Albany rookie on today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from the Wild Center in Tupper Lake, dedicated to strengthening visitors' connections to the natural world. More at wildcenter.org.
Hey, I'm David Summerstein. It's Monday, November 10th. First up, a civilian staff member at Marcy Correctional Facility was found dead of an apparent suicide on Friday. The New York State Police reports that 55-year-old Abdallah Hadian was found deceased around 8 in the morning. Hadian had recently returned to work at the Central New York prison after taking medical leave. According to the New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, Hadian used a firearm he brought into the prison with him. Authorities don't suspect foul play, and Hadian's body has been sent to the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's office. The union that represents civilian staff working in state prisons released a statement about Hadian's death. It noted that this is the 4th suicide of a civilian employee who works at docks in the past 2 years. It called for more mental health and support services for staff. Staffing levels at prisons statewide have been low for several years now. They got even worse this spring after a wildcat strike by corrections officers. Marcy Correctional Facility has been in the public spotlight since the deadly beating of inmate Robert Brooks by corrections officers last year. One of those COs was recently convicted of murder. Governor Kathy Hochul's administration is clearing a big roadblock for a natural gas pipeline off the coast of New York City. John Campbell reports for the New York Public News Network.
State environmental regulators approved a water quality permit for the Northeast Supply Enhancement Pipeline, a 25-mile gas line connector stretching from New Jersey to the Rockaways. It's a major reversal that's already angering environmentalists. The state had rejected the same permit only 5 years ago. But Williams, the company behind the pipeline, reapplied after President Trump pressured Hochul to approve it earlier this year. In turn, Hochul has convinced Trump to allow an offshore wind farm near Long Island. In Albany, I'm John Campbell for the New York Public News Network.
State environmental regulators will issue an air permit to crypto miners in the Finger Lakes after multiple denials. The DEC reached an agreement with the crypto mining company Greenwich Generation to slash 44% of its climate pollution by 2030. That had put the company in compliance with New York State's climate law. But some local advocates, like Yvonne Taylor of the Seneca Lake Guardian, are skeptical and plan to legally challenge the agreement.
We were absolutely shocked and stunned and outraged that Governor Hochul would surrender to corporate polluters like this and gut the climate law all in one fell swoop.
Greenwich says its agreement includes historic emissions reductions. The new air permit application will go through a 45-day public comment period. Michael Cashman is preparing to be sworn in as the North Country's newest Assemblymember. The Democrat and current Plattsburgh town supervisor expects his victory could be certified as soon as this week. According to unofficial tallies, he narrowly beat Republican Brent Davison by about 4 percentage points. Cashman will represent the district that covers Clinton and Franklin counties and 5 towns in Essex County for the remaining year of former Assemblyman Billy Jones's term. Champlain Valley reporter Kara Chapman asked Cashman how his experience as a local leader will and will not translate to the state legislature.
As town supervisor, one of the things that I've always loved about it is I do a lot of work in the produce aisle in Hannaford's. And what I mean by that is I love talking with the people that I serve. And as an assembly member, I'm not far removed from the people that I serve. I can continue to have those conversations, whether it be at honor flight, whether it be at a chamber dinner, whether it be at a small business, whether it be at a senior citizen's home. is making sure that I can hear from people directly. The learning curve for anyone is, a friend of mine taught me this, is paperwork is the embalming fluid of bureaucracy, and New York State is very bureaucratic. But the truth of the matter is either myself or my opponent, we're going to be the junior most member of the Assembly. And we're also coming in not at the beginning of a term, meaning that we don't have like 2 years. So it was going to be like drinking out of a fire hose for anybody. But I'm prepared to do the work. I'm going to be tireless in serving the people. But I also know that this community will give me some grace to make sure that I can get the information that I need to serve them best.
Yep. And like you said, you're only going to be stepping in for a year unexpired term, to start off at least. So what do you think you can realistically accomplish for the 115th Assembly District in that time?
Contributing my voice to the conversation, I think, is absolutely critical. It's critical to have somebody in the majority down in Albany because our needs are great here in the North Country and rural America. We, often do not get our fair share. We're going to get even less if we're not in the room. And the late and great Senator Ron Stafford used to say, I can do math. He was in the majority. He was able to deliver for the people of his district because he was in the majority. He was also a great man, don't get me wrong. So that's what I'm planning to do, is to make sure that my caucus, the people down in Albany, understand the needs and issues. We're not always going to agree, and I'm not always going to get the resources that we're looking for, but we're going to get a lot less by not having somebody in the majority.
And we are fresh off of the race coming to a conclusion. Are you planning to run again next November for a full term?
I am planning on running for a full term next year, but I will tell you that the focus right now is on serving the people of the district, getting an office up and running so that we can get into the meaningful constituent services, making sure that we are traveling to all four corners of the district like my predecessors have, and doing the meaningful work both in the district and down in Albany.
On election night, you told reporters that you're not endorsing fellow Democrat Governor Kathy Hochul's reelection bid at this time. Can you explain why that is and what might move you closer to supporting her in the future?
Sure. Well, you can go back and look at my period as town supervisor. I just don't traditionally endorse people, largely because I don't think most people really care that other politicians have endorsed other politicians or Democrats endorsed Democrats. I did have an opportunity to talk to the governor the other day, very briefly, probably about 3 to 5 minutes in total. And I made sure right from the go to acknowledge my concerns about the HALT Act and what's going on in our prisons. So she knows where I stand. We have to make sure that our voices are being heard directly where they can be. There are things that the governor has done that do not persuade me or inspire me to endorse her. She has done some good things, and it would be inappropriate for me not to say that she's done some good things. Micro Bird is an example. I'm the town supervisor of Plattsburgh. I have friends and neighbors, people that I know that were in a position that they were losing their job because of Novabus. There are decisions being made in boardrooms, not in this community. She and a number of individuals stepped up to make sure that we could protect those individuals and provide new opportunities. Kudos. She deserves recognition and acknowledgement for that, but she also needs to be challenged on the things that are hurting and not providing for in the region.
That was Assemblyman-elect Michael Cashman. He spoke with Kara Chapman. Want to know how easy it is to listen to Story of the Day on demand as a podcast on our app? Ready for this? I'm taking out my phone. I'm opening the NCPR app. I'm clicking on Story of the Day, the latest episode, which was from Friday. And ready? Press play.
SNAP food assistance is caught up in the federal government.
There it is. That's Friday's show. It's that easy. Download our app. It's so easy to use, and listen to Story of the Day whenever it works for you. We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Lost in Beijing of Keene and Danny Thomas of Canton. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.